I'm excited to talk to you today about what HPE is doing in the AI space. It's very interesting what's going on. I still think we're in a very early adoptive type of time frame where everybody's trying to figure out what they want to do, what they're trying to do, what works, and different things like that. Is anybody in the audience today doing anything with AI or have implemented any projects or anything at all, or just starting to implement things? Implementation or rolled out? Oh, good. You're the only one in the audience, so we might be asking you a lot of questions today. So, but yeah, so with that, I'll get going. Unfortunately, some of the slides I have are probably redundant from the previous session that the keynote talked about this morning, and I apologize for that. I didn't know that a lot of these were going to be kind of similar, but just some of the background. We all know what's going on with AI, where it's going. It's really exploded in the last few years, starting off with ChatGPT. Has anybody used ChatGPT in the audience today? There we go. So everybody's, at least some of you have used it. It's really kind of funny. A quick story on that is I have a lot of developer friends from my Veritas days, and my buddy, one of my friends and I were at his cabin. He was actually doing some work, and he was showing me how he uses AI in software development. And I said, you know, Rob, you're kind of utilizing your job and using AI to do a lot of the things that you didn't like to do, which is all that, code writing and things like that. So it's pretty interesting to see how he's using it with like Copilot and things like that today. So getting on with this, so the reality of where we're at with AI, a lot of companies are just exploring things. Less than 10% of AI projects actually go to production, and 9 plus months from pilot to production, and most companies are just really piloting or just starting to figure out what their plan is when it comes to AI. The challenges in the market, I know a lot of this was talked about earlier this morning. 90% of companies are investing in AI. Only 1% have actually reached deployment maturity, which is pretty similar to what we're seeing in this room. We've got one person out of, I don't know how many that have actually got it. So the key challenges, delayed return on investment, AI cost disconnects, the fragmented technology, public cloud architecture, I guess, is a challenge just because there's just a lot of things you can do with the public cloud that can get you in trouble. And then obviously, which one of the things mentioned this morning was the AI talent shortage. Operationalizing AI is hard. So this is a very complicated slide, and I do this on purpose. This really shows all the different pieces and components when you start looking at and evaluating what an AI solution entails. And so you've got, your security, your scale, accelerating, automating, observation, and really being able to fine-tune your data and how you're going to do all of that. And you really have to have a lot of knowledge on what it's going to take to do that. So you've got your model and data management over there where you're pulling in all that data. You have to start fine-tuning it so that it's actually useful data and you're getting the data that you're required for your AI solution and AI projects. And then as you move on, obviously there's a lot of the security and governance and being able to validate and sanitize that data. And then all the different agent interactions and all the different software pieces. And then on top of all that, what I think it's where it can get very complicated, these are a lot of the, sorry, this slide's got dark on me, I don't know why, but just being able to take all those different software components and how they're all going to interact together. You can see down here we've got the data sources, you've got different compute, you've got all these different pieces and components. When you're starting to build out an AI solution, that can make things very complex. And so when it comes to that, there's a lot of decisions that have to be made. Do you want to put your AI infrastructure in the cloud, or do you want to look at the private cloud? Obviously, there's some advantages with the public cloud, rapid scalability and elasticity. And then you just also have to worry, I think the biggest thing is the data control, having control of that data. Now you're taking all that corporate or all that company data that you've had for years, and you potentially have to move that to the cloud. So a lot of companies see that as a big security issue, and that's why the private cloud solution becomes more of an option for many companies, and that's just because they can control everything in-house, more predictable costs. The big cons to that is the infrastructure, slower to deploy, and then having to manage all that infrastructure is obviously there's some talent that's needed to manage all of that. Just a question, are you doing things in the cloud or are you on-prem? Cloud, okay. And so really when I'm going to talk a lot about the private cloud, obviously being HPE. That's really where our solution sits. It's an on-prem type of solution. And there's different ways of doing this. So when it comes to private cloud for AI, you can build it yourself. Obviously, that's going to take a little bit of complexity, knowing from that previous screen what types of components and software and things like that you're going to need. There's reference architectures and services. And then what I'm going to talk about and really focus on today, that's the turnkey solution that HPE has, which is called Private Cloud AI. So when we talk, what customers are looking for when they're starting to implement an AI solution, or even actually planning it or looking at what they could potentially do, simple, faster time to value, enterprise-grade security and controls, seamlessly scale with growing needs. So once you get all that data pulled in, your model's going to change from it needing a lot of storage and a lot of capacity to a lot more performance. And that's where HPE can help we can scale that solution depending on what your needs are, and then having predictable costs as well. So before I get into the solution, any questions on where we are in the world of AI? I think you covered it a lot earlier today, so pretty much a recap of what was talked about this morning. Excuse me. When it comes to the HPE Private Cloud AI solution, this is something that we built with and co-engineered with NVIDIA. So there's a lot of NVIDIA components, NVIDIA software, and that HPE took and engineered with them to really help you remove the technical risks and bottlenecks, simplify the management of the AI infrastructure, and then we have a fully integrated software platform. And we also have the capability to bring in your own models and your own frameworks. So if there's certain things that you're familiar with that you're using, we have the capability to bring that in as well. So what it looks like is we've taken the HPE hardware. So you're going to have the ProLiant servers. If you're familiar with ProLiant servers, you're going to have HPE storage. Obviously, NVIDIA GPUs built into those ProLiant servers, NVIDIA switching. All those different hardware components are built in, and then along with our AI Essentials software stack. And so what that really allows you to do is you purchase the solution, provides you with instant AI productivity, unified data access, enterprise-grade security controls and role-based access control, and then having that cloud-managed experience with everything being managed through our GreenLake console. So that was really the kind of the whole solution that HPE put together, type of a bundle type of solution. So here are the AI hardware solutions that we have currently available today. And we started off with the small and medium and large, so you can see the different technical specifications that we have for each of those. And then about 6 months ago, we came out with a developer system, and we've seen a lot of interest in that. So what that allows you to do, you can see it's a very smaller scale system, but it allows customers to, maybe they've got some POCs in mind, or maybe they've got different things in mind, but they don't want to have a big investment. And that's where this developer system really helps that use case because, like I said, it comes with a smaller system. It's ready to run out of the box. You do get GPUs built into that. You get 32 terabytes of storage. I know that's a small amount of storage, but you're going to be pulling in data from the cloud and different things like that anyway. But the nice thing is it's got all of the AI essential software that is available on all of our models. So it really allows for your data scientists or your data engineers or your IT people that are just trying to learn AI and maybe trying to see if it's something that you want to do an on-prem solution, it allows them to experiment, to be able to test with your data to figure out what type of solutions that you could potentially use, or what type of projects you may want to take on with a much smaller system than having to do a huge investment with a lot of GPUs, things like that. Key AI capabilities. So we talked a lot about, this is a little bit redundant, so instant AI productivity. So really with this solution, you can bring it into your environment, put it on your network, and you're able to get up and running very quickly. I mentioned the cloud managed experience. Has anybody ever used the GreenLake console? Any HP customers? So it's the same. If you go into the GreenLake console today, you're going to see a private cloud AI service in there. And you can basically, that's how you would manage this. You'd manage the updates. You'd manage all the different components. All of that stuff would be managed with that. Unified data access. So we have the GreenLake. There's a data warehouse component to this, so you can pull in data from on-prem or the cloud. And then I mentioned earlier the security, different security components that we have with the role-based access control, secure access, things like that. This is a validation that we had one of our analysts do, a third-party analyst, and what you're looking at here is the HP private cloud AI solution versus public cloud on the left, and on the right-hand side is the private cloud AI solution versus a do-it-yourself. And you can see the different cost savings that they came up with using the PCAI solution compared to the different other different models that they tested against or validated against. So getting on to the AI essential software, excuse me. This is the whole software stack, and like I mentioned, this is where we bring that value. These are all the tested components where HP has worked with NVIDIA to put all this software packaging together, all the hardware on the infrastructure as a service on the bottom, and allows you to take that, all those components, from that very first screen we talked about where we have all these different options, all this different open source software that's available to you. What HP has done, along with our NVIDIA partnership, is to take that and put together the software packaging so that you can get up and running very quickly with your AI projects. And you can see here we have the Gen AI models and blueprints, so you can use the pre-optimized NVIDIA blueprints where you just pull those blueprints in, and it's going to give you like a chat GPT, like a generative AI model within like 10 minutes, because it's going to take all the different components it needs, all that software is already prepackaged, ready to go, and it's going to build out a solution so you can have a model working off of whatever type of data you want relatively very quickly. And then there's the other options, the NVIDIA models. Besides the blueprints, there's community models. There's all these different type of models and blueprints that you can utilize that are just available to you. When it comes to the software and the data foundation, you can see here we've taken some of the NVIDIA AI Enterprise software that's needed for different, the embeddings for RAG, for optimized retrieval and fine-tuning, the GPU optimized foundation models. We've taken all of that, and we've combined that with the HP Essentials software, which allows all the data connectors to the different data sources, the machine learning, experimentation and tuning, and then the model operations as well. So we've pulled all those different pieces that you're going to need to build out a solution, and that is all running on Kubernetes. And then when it comes to the infrastructure, we're using NVIDIA switching, obviously the NVIDIA GPU operators, and then the whole solution is running on something we call HPE VM Essentials. So is anybody aware that HPE came out with the hypervisor about 1.5 years ago? Any raise of hands? So I'm just going to touch on that quickly. So 1.5 years ago, we purchased a company called Morpheus, which has had a KVM hypervisor for about 8 years. And what we're really looking at is the disruption that Broadcom has caused with VMware. I'm guessing probably everybody in this room has probably had some fun with VMware and Broadcom in the last year. And so we came out with a KVM-based hypervisor. It's become very popular. We've got a lot of customers that are testing it, working on it, and it's running this whole software stack of solutions. So it's the hypervisor that's running this product. So it's not something new. It's KVM based, and it's been in the market. We're working very feverishly to get new technologies, new supportability of that. The biggest thing right now is when it comes to backups, Commvault is currently supported for image-based backups. Veeam is coming very soon. I don't know if I talked to the Veeam people this morning, but they're going to be having image-based backups for that, hopefully before the end of the year. Cohesity and other different backup vendors. But if it's something that you're interested in, the HiPoCON team is very well versed in what we're doing. Stop by our booth and I can answer any questions you have on that. I just wanted to put it out there because there's a lot of interest in that hypervisor product that we have. Sure, go ahead.
Is it free like Nutanix hypervisor?
Well, Nutanix isn't free. It's far from free. Yeah, so it is the hypervisor, the HP VM hypervisor. Right now, list price is $600 per socket per year. So it's priced very reasonably, and that's list price. So, and it's if any of you are SimpliVity customers, it's shipping with SimpliVity today. It's shipping with our private cloud business edition solution. So it's available. It's out there. We really need a couple backup vendors, especially Veeam, to come out with their image-based backups, and then it'll be, we'll see a lot of adoption at that point. Oh, okay. With VMware, assuming today? Yeah, so it is July 1st, we started shipping. You can order VM Essentials with SimpliVity. It's actually prepackaged, ready to go inside there. So it's a big advantage for us. I hate to sidetrack this whole solution or this whole talk track, but it's a big advantage for us because we own the whole hypervisor. It's easier for us to do upgrades, all those different things. All right, any questions on the software stack and the infrastructure piece of this? All right. So again, driving business value through AI at scale. So we have the capabilities with our product for, depending on however your IT organization is structured and things like that. For your IT administrators, really allows them through the GreenLake console to do those upgrades, to really develop or deliver that underlying AI infrastructure, all the hardware components. Excuse me. The data engineers and data analysts, we have all the different components to pull in data from all the different pieces, which is the data warehousing piece of this. And then finally, for your data scientists and machine learning engineers, we have all the AI software. All of that is all built and ready to go, so they can, really experiment and train and deploy their solutions. Excuse me. So anybody that's familiar with GreenLake console, this screen should look pretty familiar. This is what I mentioned earlier, being able to manage this with the console. You're just going to have another service available to you, which is called Private Cloud AI, where you can launch into that. Once you launch that, you're going to basically have these different pieces in there. This is the workspace. Again, so for any of your IT operations individuals, they can do all the management, the security, the updates. I think there was a question on updates. That's all done through this. Basically managing all the hardware. And then on the right side is all the tools and frameworks that we have in there. And you can go in and open it and do whatever types of testing or whatever you want to do as well. Has anybody ever used the HP demo labs that we have available? Perfect. So we have the whole demo lab available. So if you want to get access to this, if you're an HP customer today, you're already going to have a login to the demo labs. It's right in through like the HP Support Center. You can go out and you can test all this, and it'll allow you to build out just simple little models to see how this all works, and you can and try different things out as well. And then I think there was a mention about importing different frameworks and different tools. If you've got stuff that you're already utilizing, you're familiar with, you can import those frameworks into the private cloud AI solution as well. This is just looking at the data lakehouse that we have available in here. So being able to, like in the, just one of the things I would get a question on a lot is in the small developer system, it only has 32 terabytes of storage. What if I need more capacity? The data lakehouse is built into that. So you can pull data from wherever that data may be. You could have it in NFS shares. You could have different database tables. Obviously, if you've got data sitting out in the cloud, and then depending on what other types of storage you have, you can pull all that data into the, to be able to use that to model your different solutions. And then multi-tenancy, again, you're going to have a lot of different, potentially a lot of different people utilizing different pieces of this. And so this just allows you to, have collaboration and being able to optimize your resources, different things like that. Was there a question? I'm sorry. The AI ecosystem, I mentioned this. This is probably where I would say majority of individuals that I work with, they're pulling in different blueprints rather than trying to build all this stuff out on their own. If you go out and look on like NVIDIA's site, they've got blueprints out there where it's gonna, it's actually pretty cool actually. You can pull in like a blueprint to do a lot of different things, and it's gonna utilize the software stack that we have already built into the product. And so once you pull in that blueprint, it's gonna go and, you're gonna ask it a few questions like a wizard almost, and you can actually start building off a solution pretty quickly. And then there's the ISV partner program. You can see there's a lot of different use cases that the different vendors that we have available as well. And then there's the different partnerships, notably Accenture and Deloitte, that have AI ecosystem pre-built things that are available already too. Services. So HPE is available to help you with services for this. We have the day one service, which a lot of customers that are really getting into this, they're really new. They just want to start looking at what a private or what an AI solution would be. Is it a good business model? It's really the thing you want to do before you jump fully into this, is really get an idea. And I know it was mentioned this morning, so I don't want to really hash or pound on it, but you really want to get an idea if the project that you're going to do is a good, valid project. And that's one of the things HPE can do, especially on the day one advising and consulting. We can come in and figure out the use cases, just do a whole bunch of analysis to just see if it's a project that it's worth undertaking, if you're going to get a return on investment on it. And then from there, obviously, we can help you go all the way to implementation and integration and running it and optimizing it if that's something that you want. So if you're looking at that, just reach out to anybody from the HP side, and we can get you with this, just an advising session. Just more validation that was done by Enterprise Strategy Group to really show the value of the product, especially when it comes to AI solutions and being able to get them to the market a lot faster and get that return on investment. And then my final slide that I have is really just a summary of what we talked about today. Ready to run out of the box, so fully managed, integrated, ready to go. Allows you to scale up as needed, like I mentioned. So depending on where you're at in your AI story, you're going to potentially need more data points. And then as you're actually done with this, you're going to need to have more GPUs to give you fast performance. And that's where we can help you with that scaling. The data privacy and control is probably key. I'm sure if you went out and looked, there's probably a ton of different stories out there where companies rolled out an AI project and it went bad. There was one I read about 3 weeks ago where a company rolled out a project and it was automatically shipping out $100 gift cards to people. It was all based on AI. And they actually tried to pull them back and say they were invalid, and a judge ruled that, you shipped them out to a customer. They can't really, they didn't do anything wrong. So just some things there you have to be really careful about when you're rolling out an AI project. And then having the lifecycle management. So what we're going to do with our AI Essential software is there's constant, just like any other software, there's constant code updates being done to that, new releases and new features, and whenever those things come out, we're going to update the AI Essential software as well. So that's all I have today. I don't know if anybody's got any questions.